Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming out. We just had a session that was called. I think everybody by now knows the Supreme Court and the deadline that was placed for consideration on new sentencing guidelines surrounding second-degree murder. Look, at the end of the day, there's a lot that we can talk about. I see, I'm sure you heard the opposition that we shared to the language within the bill, but also the process. This is not how legislation gets done, and all of you have heard me throughout the last several budgets talk about the idea of bills going back and forth without actually sitting down in a room with the other chamber needed to pass legislation, without sitting down in a room with the Attorney General, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer in Pennsylvania, and quite frankly, as we have been without this whole process, without the governor. So when you don't have that kind of collaboration to deal with an issue such as this is what you have, which is essentially amounts to, no matter what votes are taken, it amounts to inaction because unfortunately nothing will be done. We have serious concerns with what was passed today in the House. However, the comfort is this is not a bill that's becoming law. It is not going to be accepted over in the Senate, and now we simply have to wait and see what happens when this deadline passes. With that, I'll take any questions.
Didn't seem very productive, right? I mean, to have this vote.
No, and we've been down this road before. We were down it last year with the budget, but this is one of those issues that requires a great deal of thought, and it requires bringing in some of the stakeholders that we are hearing from that was opposed to this legislation today, like the FOP, our policemen, the state troopers, the Attorney General, district attorneys throughout Pennsylvania. So those are people who need to be in a room to come up with a solution, and unfortunately that's not what happened.
If it wasn't productive, then what do you think the point of today was?
Politics. Yeah, I don't think anybody wanted to be blamed for not doing something, but in the end, something didn't get done because we didn't do it the right way. And I'll be honest, guys, I've had about my fill of looking through buildings and talking about people not being here and TikToks and all that stuff and your brand on social media. In the end, I came here to do people's work. I came here to make the law that we have to have in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that didn't happen today, and instead we're too worried about being on brand. Yep. I think today set things back considerably.
I've heard some messaging, not accusing you or any of your members of this, but I've heard some messaging from some people suggesting once this deadline hits, the prison doors are open, everybody's coming out. Do you not trust the courts and the legal system to be able to?
What I'll say is this is unprecedented, and I said it on the floor in my remarks. Nobody knows exactly what is going to happen, and quite frankly, that should concern all of us. We have the responsibility to provide stability, particularly when it comes to public safety, for the people of Pennsylvania, and we failed to do that.
If you have that responsibility, and you're saying that we're now weeks away from a solution on that, what's also y'all's responsibility to make it days and not weeks?
Well, we're ready. I mean, you see the folks that not just are here behind me, but have been ready to come to this solution for weeks. I have offered my services. We need to be part of the process if we're going to be providing votes, and we will need to provide votes because this is a divided government. So we've had those conversations. They did not amount to anything that we could support today. Hopefully that changes in the future.
I think the court should grant an extension.
I think the legislature should do their job. All right, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it.